I'm being joined by the Delhi Bureau Chief of NDTV Profit, Shrimi Chaudhary. Hi Shrimi, thank you so much for joining us. Could you help us understand what are these proposed changes?
So what he's indicating at that the GOM in its two-day crucial meeting, they converged together, ministers today in the capital, and in fact the first in the agenda was the insurance, the tax treatment on the insurance policies for both life and health insurance, and what they discussed and deliberated upon in the line of centre proposal to scrap 18% on both life and health insurance premium. And in fact some of the states actually expressed concern during the meeting, and they were like that it could lead to some revenue loss is what their anticipation is. But what we are also getting sense that most of the states are in the favor of exempting life and health insurance, because it will bring a huge tax relief for common man, and that is what has been discussed today. But what we are also getting sense that the final report will go to the GST Council as and when they meet, and they will perhaps take a call on that. But meanwhile, the minister also discussed on another important issue on the compensation cess, of course the future of compensation cess, where the regime is nearing to an end, and in fact government is expected to repay the debt before a quarter, and in fact they are working on and chalking out plan on the future of compensation, said that what gonna happen once the cess replace, and whether there will be any additional levy coming over and above the 40% on the special rate which is coming and which is proposed by the centre. So tomorrow will be another crucial day, because all the minister is coming together again, the rate rationalization, where they are going to discuss which item will go to 5% and which will go to the 18%. Remember, the centre proposing moving to two slab structure from the existing four tier structure. So the final recommendation will, of course, these GOM will send to the council, and we will see some decision coming in the next council meeting.
Thank you so much for helping us understand that. And viewers, speaking to media persons while coming out of the same GOM meet, Gajendra Singh Khimsar, Rajasthan's health minister, stated that discussions are ongoing, and this will also continue into day 2 of the meeting of the group of ministers. So let's listen into his comments as well.
Deliberations are on, ministers are all talking. FM got the ball rolling. और अभी ये जैसे अनफोल्ड होगा, टुमारो इज द मेन।
एफएम ने प्रपोजल क्या बताया?
एफएम ने बोला कि आप सब मिनिस्टर्स बैठ के इसका डिस्कशन कर लीजिए, और कोई भी अपने एनीथिंग यू वांट टू सजेस्ट, एनी दिस थिंग, वी आर रेडी टू ओपन टू डिस्कस।
क्या एफएम ने 2 स्लैब स्ट्रक्चर की बात करी कि हम जीएसटी को 5 और 18% पे लाना चाहते हैं?
नहीं, स्लैब्स तो कई हैं, लेकिन बट द थिंग इज एफएम जस्ट डिड द इंट्रोडक्शन टुडे, दैट्स ऑल। एफएम डिड नॉट पार्टिसिपेट पर से विद डायरेक्टली विद ऑल द स्टेट्स।
किसी स्टेट को कोई
आपत्ति भी है और सराहना भी है, छोटी मोटी है। These are all teething problems.
तो क्या GOM on insurance ने कोई final recommendation?
We will tell you tomorrow.
And to help us break this down further, we have Ranjit Mahatani, partner of Dhruv Advisors LLP, joining us on this. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. My first question to you is, the FM emphasized connecting inverted duty structures to cut down on ITC accumulation. From an industry standpoint, which sectors stand to gain the most if these reforms are implemented effectively, according to you?
Hi, good evening. So there are several sectors. There would be the footwear sector, there would be the textile sector, amongst others, which are the key ones which are impacted. There is also, in fact, some certain service businesses which would have some impact on inverted duty structure. So, for example, restaurants and hotels where they would pay 5% on the outward supply, whereas the inward supply of rent would be at 18%. Now, it's out there yet to be sort of addressed whether this would get resolved. So inverted duty structure for the commodities would get fixed, but whether it would also be addressed from a service sector point of view is something we would need to look at. So these are the, there's some sort of impact in the paper business where we will see some corrections hopefully.
Right, Mr. Matani. Given states' dependency on GST compensation, do you think consensus on rate rationalization will be difficult to achieve?
This is a very contentious topic to speak about. We go back to when GST was introduced, and Arun Jaitley, sort of was the statesman who kind of managed and maneuvered and convinced the sort of parties in opposition, the states, etc., to sort of come on board and go onto this GST juggernaut. Now, I think that time and situation we are in, especially the economic scenario, given what's happening on the global scenario with the US tariffs and other sort of impact points. I do believe that post the Prime Minister's comments and sort of encouragement to revamp and sort of restructure the GST in India, I don't think it would be a situation of the states having to be convinced, meaning I do not believe that they may have to go down the path of voting. There would be consensus in the ministry, in the ministers as they meet as a part of the council, and they would sort of be able to align and come to a consensus and go through without a voting process. But that's what I believe. That's what I think is more likely. It's of course some form of guesswork on my part.
So while you reckon that a voting process may not be needed, what would you flag as a single most critical reform priority for the GST Council, given the industry concerns today, and as you very well highlighted, the current global and macroeconomic scenario as well?
So, there are quite a few points on which there could be a focus that the council, has its eye, and therefore revamps and restructures the GST in India. But some of them are actually articulated in the press release that the ministry, the government had on Independence Day, and these are essentially to ease out the refund process, to fix the inverted duty structure wherever it is sort of impacting. The idea is also to use technology and automate the processes. By way of example, is a preempt pre-filled returns and make the life for a taxpayer easier. Registration has been a niggling area which has been troubling people across the country. We had some form of instructions come through in April of 2025. Probably there will be some more streamlining of that process as well. There also is a single most focus. I think everybody is in some way holding their breath over is the rate rationalization exercise. Now that's what's being tom most about, and I do believe that's probably the single most focus area, because what it will do is it will go back to the original design and architecture of GST as we set out in 2017, that we have a minimal rate, a revenue neutral rate, and a sin rate. And that's where now the ministry has come up and made suggestions to the group of ministers, which will consider all of that and come up with a report for implementation, hopefully in and around Diwali time this year. So yeah, that would be the single most focus area. It would have a impact on revenue collections for the government. It would have an impact on taxpayers having to rejig their systems, their invoicing, their processes. It would have an impact in terms of tax personnel, department, or the GST department themselves, tax personnel and professionals like myself, having to realign the understanding on what rates have to be applied for what products, and that would be a one-time exercise. But the footprint of this sort of reform would be really large.
Right, Mr. Mehtani. Very, very interesting comments over there about the footprint, the consequences, and you definitely helped us get clarity. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.